This is Workplace Sports Talk, and I'm your guy, Tim, that talks. Today we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans' second preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Titans defense clamped down on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending champs. Only held them to 3 points. Titans were able to shut the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense down. Woodside was the first quarterback to take snaps for the Titans offense. It didn't start off very well. The Titans offensive line was giving up pressures. There was nowhere for running backs to run. It did not look good in the first quarter. When they did get things rolling, Woodside had a very good rollout on play action. Woodside is looking very good and accurate on those rollouts. He did throw a couple wobbly balls, one that could have been catchable, but since he didn't have good touch and accuracy with the ball, it was batted down by the defender. But when he was able to plant his feet and get time in the pocket, he threw a very good touch pass to the rookie Dez Fitzpatrick. Titans offensive coordinator did something very interesting in this preseason game. They were alternating between Woodside and Barkley in certain series. So I had to get him in certain situations. So it wasn't one guy played one half and the other guy played the other half. They played situational football, which was good to see. So when Matt Barkley came in, he came in with some juice, and it was very evident. His first pass was a dart down the field for over 12 yards. This is what I like to see from Matt Barkley. I think he does have the edge over Woodside because when he comes into the game, he is throwing to win. He is throwing and pushing that ball down the field, throwing with a lot of accuracy and pinpoint accuracy at that, and he is throwing to make sure the receiver is the only person that can catch the ball. He did have a couple instances where he threw off his back foot, but even when he did that, it was still able to get to the receiver and was a catchable ball. Matt Barkley also looked good on the rollouts, on the play actions. He was so accurate on the run, looks a little bit faster than Woodside. Matt Barkley's stats was 12 and 16, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Woodside's stats in this preseason game was 7 for 8, 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. There's a new wrinkle to the Titans offensive scheme. I saw a couple bubble screens to the receivers, and that is good to see. Tom Brady does this, and Patrick Mahomes does this. They use this bubble screen or this quick passing screens to the receivers. It's like a running play. Titans have to do this to make sure that they don't do 8 in the box against Derrick Henry. So I do like to see this new wrinkle in the Titans offensive scheme. So the running back that got the start was Michael Sargent, who looked very fast. Sargent was very good coming out of the flat. He looked very fast running his route. He has good natural hands, and his guy has a lot of burst when he comes out of the backfield. I like what I'm saying, and he was running really hard in between the guards. Sargent is not going to be able to supplant Evans, but he could be a good number 3 backup. Nichols didn't look that fast to me. I know that they're most likely going to keep Nichols, but I like what I'm seeing from Sargent. He's coming in with a lot of juice and burst. Sargent was 16 carries for 78 yards at a 4.9 yards per carry, almost 5. That was very good to see. The second running back was Brian Hill. He's a very good hard runner. He probably matches more of a Derrick Henry power style. He had some decent runs. Offensive line were not opening a lot of holes early on in the game, but as the game got on, Titans offense was pushing the pile. It was good to see Reynolds out there. I saw him in the run blocking scheme. He was running his routes pretty good. He looked quick out of his breaks. Rodgers had another good outing in this preseason game. He was 2 for 27, and he had a very good combat catch that he made. He looks really good in the slot. I think him and Kinsey are battling right now for that slot position. It's going to be hard to keep both of them because Fitzpatrick also showed up in today's game. He looked very good also. Caught a touchdown pass. He looked very quick out of his breaks as well. He was really good releasing at the line of scrimmage. With a little bit more seasoning and training, this guy could be a really good 3 or 4. He's going to be pushing at some point this season. He's going to be pushing for playing time. So it's good to see Fitzpatrick show up. Kinsey again, he was 6 for 56 and a touchdown. He was getting separation. He was open all day. I like what I'm seeing from this guy. Probably going to be hard to stash him on a practice squad. So this guy could get poached from us at some point. But I will say that Rodgers is probably going to be the guy to keep based on what I'm seeing out of returns from this guy. He looks so fast. And if they wouldn't have called that ticky-tack call on Weaver, he would have had a run for 60-something yards. He looks really good out there in kick returner. So right now he has the edge over Kinsey, even though Kinsey is most likely going to end this preseason with the most catches and yards on the Tennessee Titans. Tight ends did okay. Ferguson came out today. It was good to see him. He was 2 for 15 yards, so that was really good. Ferguson looked fast out there, playing what I think he's going to do. He's going to be that guy when the Titans do play action. He's going to get open all day long. First, it looks good, and the other tight ends were looking good in the blocking schemes also. The Titans' offensive line made a very poor showing. You can tell it's just a lot of new guys just getting used to blocking. They don't know how each other work, and it shows. Radunz had some good plays and he had some very bad plays. They were trying him at guard and they were trying him at tackle. I say he probably played better at tackle than he did guard. All in all, they're trying to get Radunz as much playing time as possible because they're probably going to call on him some point in the season. So as of right now, for rookie, he looks just okay. We only had one kicker today, and that was Fickens, who looked magnificent. He was kicking with such accuracy out there in this preseason game, and I like what I'm seeing from this guy. That 58-yarder could have been a 65-yarder. Fickens looked really good out there. He made all his kicks, and every one of his kicks was down the middle. This guy, if he can keep kicking like this, it's going to be a pleasant surprise for Titans fans as well as the Titans team. Titans going to call upon this guy to make a lot of clutch kicks for the Tennessee Titans. What I'm saying, he is kicking with a lot of leg and is very accurate. His kickoffs are booming into the end zone also, and I like what I'm seeing from Fickens. Defensive side of the ball for the Tennessee Titans in this preseason game was magnificent. We had some more good showings from a lot of Tennessee Titans players. I'm going to start off with the Titans interior. Again, showed up big. Tierra Tart is looking like a steal for the Tennessee Titans. Every time he's on the field, this guy's getting pressure up the middle. AFC South better be worried because here pretty soon, people are going to know who Tierra Tart is. He is getting pressure, and it seems like nobody can handle this guy. So it's going to be good to see what's going to happen when all the starters in there. Okay, for the DBs, Breon Borders and Christian Fulton got the start. Both of these guys look good tonight. Breon Borders got significant playing time, which he most likely is going to be the 4th or the 5th cornerback, which is good, which means that people like Fulton is stepping up and Farley is going to be stepping up. So I would love to have him in as a 4 or 5 DB. He looked really good on coverage. He most likely was giving up a little bit of press coverage, but he was still playing man coverage, and he was able to make tackles when the receivers caught the ball in front of him. Christian Fulton looked really good. He had a really good pass breakup. When the receiver hit the ground, Fulton followed him and was just swiping at the ball and actually ripped it out of there. So Fulton is scrapping. I like to see that. He was always around his man. Dougal showed up with 3 tackles. He looked really good out there on pass breakup. So if he can come in as be our 5 and 6 DB, maybe even make the practice squad, this is going to be good depth for the Tennessee Titans. There's going to be some injuries. So if we can get these veterans who can come in here, who look good, who know the system and play hard, this is going to be a really good Titans secondary, and it's not going to be much fall off from the starters to the backups. And Body Calhoun looked good also. He was Johnny on the spot. He was breaking passes up. Body Calhoun and McDougal are looking to make this team, if not be on the practice squad. But these guys are going to play this season, and so far I like what I'm seeing from them. Caleb Farley made his Tennessee Titans debut, and he looked good also. Chris Farley's speed showed up on one of his first plays. He got beat on a double move, and he was able to have his catch-up speed and was able to push the receiver out of bounds. So it's good to see that even if he makes some mistakes and bites on a double move, he still has the speed and that it affects the play. So that's really good to see from Farley. So when he does get game ready and his IQ catches up with his raw talent, this guy's gonna be a household name. But the DB that stole the show was Molden. This guy was playing primarily in the slot, and he looked really good. He had 8 tackles and 1 sack. They blitzed him at least 5 or 6 times, and I like to see that the Tennessee Titans are going back to the corner blitzes. It reminds me of when Logan Ryan was here and he used to blitz from that slot position, also that nickel position. Elijah Molden was getting good penetration into the backfield. He made some very good stops, especially on 4th and 1. He came in and took the running back down at the legs. Molden was showing up on almost every tackle. I'm glad the Tennessee Titans doubled down on DB in this draft, because Molden's going to look like he's going to be a starter for years to come also. Tennessee's Titans defensive line showed up again today. You have Roberson, who was getting some penetration. He was setting the edges a little bit. He did have a really good spin move that he's trying out. So that's good that these outside linebackers / defensive ends are trying new moves. You got your first move and they're going to their secondary moves. So it's good to see where the Titans are going with their coaching. Simons also looked good. He had a good quarterback strip. Now, we didn't get the ball back. It was good to see that he got his hand out there around the edge. He was beating this man on a consistent basis. Weaver looked good also again. He was showing up to me, getting penetration. He was pushing his man back almost every time. The thing that I've noticed about Weaver is that his leverage is very good. He's getting underneath these guys' chests and he's just pushing them back. I figures out his counter moves. He's gonna be something scary, y'all, because he is getting this leverage and he is pushing everybody back into the quarterback. I like what I'm seeing from Weaver. They're trying Weaver at defensive end and outside linebacker. He was more effective on the outside, but inside he was just as effective, just not as much. But he was pushing his man back also, and I like what I'm seeing. He didn't get his hands up and didn't bat the ball down this game, but he still was popping off for me. David Long again looks good. He came in with good pass breakup. He's looking good in coverage right now. He's looking really fast out there. So he's going to be a really good rotational inside linebacker for the Titans. Rashaan Evans better watch out, because if David Long keeps making this progression, he's going to push him for playing time. In closing, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Tennessee Titans defense and offense, but the defense has a lot of ground to make up from last season, so the defense is looking good, especially the Titans secondary. So I'm guessing with the release of some of these veterans, they got new energy in there. So right now, this is Byard's defense, and I like what I'm seeing for Kevin Byard and these other DBs, especially these new DBs. They are scrappy. So maybe even Jackrabbit has something to do with this also. As of right now, from what I'm seeing on the field, I'm seeing a lot of starters. So the Titans are going to cut a lot of good players on their defense. So it's going to be on other teams' rosters around the league. So it's good to know that we're going to cut players that are going to start for other teams, which means we got a stacked roster. So hopefully they can carry this on to the next preseason game, and then they can carry this on into the season. Thank you for joining me today. This is Workplace Sports Talk. I'm your guy, Tim the Talk. See you next time.